Hi everyone. In this video, we will talk about another lab activity. It is related to implement, manage Azure Virtual Desktop profiles. So for doing this, we have a prerequisite that you need to complete these two lab activities. So in our lab series, we already have completed this, so we are ready to go with this particular lab. And this is like we are going to implement FS logics. We already have the storage. And now we will set up user profiles. Let's go on to the first exercise. Let's implement FS logic based profiles for Azure Virtual Desktop. The main task is these two. Let's perform the first task one. The task one is to configure FS logic based profiles for Azure Virtual Desktop session host VMs. Okay. So according to the instruction, they will be giving how you can implement for all the three VM which is created as part of session host, but we created only one session host. So if we do it for only one session host, then that's enough. Okay. Now let's try to start doing the lab. On the lab computer, let's open Microsoft Edge, try to log into our Azure portal. On the Azure portal, we need to open the Cloud Shell. On Cloud Shell, we need to make sure that we are logging inside the PowerShell, not the bash. So if you're having a black background, then you have to switch it. If it is blue background, then you are going to execute something on PowerShell. So this is for starting all your VM. So either you can do it with the help of these commands, or you can even do it with UI portal itself. See what you can do. You can go here, select all, and then you can start. So it will be running all. But in case if you want to follow this, you can. So what it does, it will start all our session hosts. So you can skip if you want. Let's close this. And now we need to connect to this P1 host pool. So the P10 host pool. And according to our use case, like we don't have any public IP for this P1 host pool. So it'll be difficult for us to connect. So one way is we can give public IP and connect to that. Or you can take RDP to DC machine, and from that machine also you can take RDP to this machine. That would be better. Let's do that way. So what I will do, I'll take RDP to DC machine, and from there I'll take RDP to P1 machine. Let me take RDP first to the DC machine, because all of them are created in only one virtual network. So within virtual network, I can have connectivity through private IP itself. So only on internet, if I want to connect, then I need public IP. Fine, now I have connected to the DC machine. Let me close all the tabs which were open as part of our previous task. Now let me try to open portal. Let me search for portal.azure.com. We logged in. Now let's go and get the private IP of P10. If we want, we can enable public IP and directly connect also. Let me take the private IP, that is 10.0.1.4. And for this, on the DC VM, you have to go for searching RDP. And using RDP, we will try to connect with the private IP, that is 10.0.1.4, and hit enter. It'll ask the password. So this is the password, and try to connect. It is taking an RDP session. Yes, you can say. So right now you are inside your DC machine. Inside that DC machine, you are into another machine. So it will take some time. Let us wait for that VM to load successfully. So once it is loaded, what we do, we will download FS Logic's installer. And once it is downloaded, then we can go ahead and install it. Okay. In our host machine, session host, let's go and open Microsoft Edge. So this is our session host. And in here, let's go with some basic data. Start without your data, continue without your data, and start browsing. Fine, let me just download FSLogix. Got downloaded. Okay. Installation of not necessary if the image is already included in it. Let me check whether FSLogix is installed in my computer or not. These days, I hope it comes pre-installed. Let us go and check whether it is installed or not. For that, let me go to Control Panel, go to Programs and Features. Yes, FSLogix apps is already installed, so we don't need to install it again. Fine, so this is done. Now next, let's continue with the next step. So this can be closed or minimized. Yeah, let me search for PowerShell ISE. And this PowerShell ISE, let me run it as administrator. We are still in the session host. And let's execute this command. We are installing AZ module, Azure module. So we are getting connected to the Azure. So we can say yes. It'll take some time. Let us wait. So once it is done, then I will resume the video. Yeah, it took almost 10 minutes for me to resume the video. Installation completed, and then I waited for another 5 minutes. Let's continue. The next command to be executed, I just want to set the PowerShell environment for logging inside Azure account. Let me give my email ID. This is the first time we are logging inside Azure account from this machine. So we need to key in the email ID and password. No thanks. I'll give the password. Yeah, the login got succeeded. Let's continue with the next commands. And for this command, let me open a notepad because I have multi-line command. New text document. This is for commands. Copy these two commands. Control A, Control C, come here and execute it. The first command will get the resource group name where the storage account, and then the second command will get the storage account name and store it in a variable called storage account name. Once that is done, we need to run the following command to configure user profile registry settings. Let's go here and paste these commands. A, Control C, hit enter. Everything is looking perfect. Yeah. Okay, now next in our session host, let's go and run a command. Yeah, this will open our local user and group editor or manager, you can say local user and group manager. And in here, we need to go local users and groups, and then where exactly it is. Yeah, if you go to the groups at the bottom, if you scroll down, FS logic, excluded list, included list, profile, excluded list, and included list will be there. Yes. In the local user and group console, in the list of group, double click on profile include list. Profile include list. So it is going to it will be including the profile of everyone. So we can just say cancel it. So when you open it, so it is including everyone, that's fine. Next, exclude list. Does not include any members. We can say okay or close it. And then we need to run these commands. And again, so while running this command, you don't need to run this command for all the machines because we don't have multiple machines. We only have one machine, and then we have done it. So you don't need to execute this command as well as this command. Okay. Next, we can go for this command execution, but this command also we will modify accordingly. So if you see here, these two command we have already executed here. We executed this command to session host 1. Now the same we are repeating to the other two session host, but in our case, we have only one session host, and that's enough. Okay, now let's go and execute this command. For that, let me first copy it here. Add username to these servers. Let me delete all the other server. We'll go with only one server. Yes, that's P10. And let's Control A, Control C, come here and execute it. Yeah, once it is done, then what we can do, we can just go and sign out this mission. Yes, it has executed. So now let's go and sign out of this session host. Shut it down. Better you sign it out. Yes, sign out anyways, no problem. Yeah, now I'm back to my DC machine. Next, let's test whether FS Logic based profile is successfully configured, properly configured or not with our Azure Virtual Desktop, and that is what we are going to do now. Okay, fine. Now let's go and execute task 2. Okay, now we need to switch to CL machine. So let me minimize this. So this is my lab computer. On lab computer, let me open Azure portal. In here, let me go to the client machine. I hope we have given the client machine public IP, so that let's connect to that machine using that public IP. Okay, somehow I have deleted the public IP. So what I can do now is We'll just go and enable. In case in yours, it will be there. The public IP is already there. You don't need to do this step. For some reason, for IP scarcity, I just deleted it. Let me enable it now. I'll go to IP config. I can click on associate and say save. Existing one. Is there any of my IP? No, I can create a new one and say OK and say save. It'll take some time. Let me wait for this to complete. So once it completes, then I'll start a new video for the task 2. For task 2, we will do it in new video.